When Thomas Embling and Forensic Care decided to go smoke-free, we decided pretty early on we had to use every strategy we could. The biggest one was adopting a supportive approach. Everything we did, from the fresh air fairs to the distraction activity boxes to setting up a cinema in the evening so people could watch a movie instead of having a cigarette, to having the patch and the gum and NRT, was all around that belief: we've got your back, you can do this, we know you can do this.
So we worked particularly with patients to look at timing, triggers and parts of the day that they were used to smoking. And that was often when they first got out of bed or after meal times. And we looked at what could we do to support people during those usual smoke times. We used the structure of the 4 Ds to try and help people think of what they could do instead of smoking.
We designed a fortnight full of activities. So it started with a walking group every morning, and then later in the day was things like soccer games, volleyball games and lots of other team sports. Also more personal training if people wanted more one-on-one exercise sessions.
Some handled it by locking themselves away for a few days where they didn't really come out a great deal. Other patients you may do some one-to-one counselling with. You may sit down and talk about it. We did, of course, have the nicotine replacement, whether it was patches or whether it was gum.
The fresh air fairs were events designed to take a whole of health approach to quitting smoking. So rather than just focusing on smoking cessation, they also looked at general healthy living ideas.
We had smoking champions that you could talk to, which would talk about their story and how well they're doing now. There was some bikes that had a blender attached to them so they could make a smoothie by riding, encouraging the physical side of it as well.
An important tip would be to have a set date to work towards and make sure there's an appropriate amount of time to prepare everyone. Not too long or people lose interest, but enough that people can feel prepared and motivated for the change. One part of that planning would be to make sure there's nothing else big going on in the organisation. For us, it happened at a similar time to accreditation, and our transition was on the school holidays, so that added to the level of challenge.